here at the Albuquerque Comic-Con, and today I'm interviewing Catherine Sutherland, who played Catherine Hillard in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Power Rangers Zeo, and Power Rangers Turbo. So how has life been since Power Rangers?
Good, busy. I'm a mom. I'm always doing a million projects at once, so yes, I'm always busy.
Well, that's always good. You never want to ever have too little going on in life, and just too little happening. But so you were a late addition to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You were the last new Ranger to be, or the last new replacement Ranger, as they say, to the series. And so was it kind of difficult because of how soon the transition to Zeo happened? Did you ever really feel like you fit in as well with the Mighty Morphin series as much as you did Zeo?
Oh, that's I've never been asked that question. Well, they were all very close because they'd been together for quite a while, but they really embraced me, and I never felt like an outcast or anything like that. I fit in pretty quickly. And then when we did Zeo, I felt like that's when I really got to embrace my character more and get to know her, and the storylines were a little deeper. So I never felt like I didn't belong or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So you worked on both Mighty Morphin, or you didn't work on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, but you auditioned for it, didn't you?
I auditioned for the part of Dulcia, actually.
That's what we've been hearing for years.
Yes.
And so, was there any specific reason they ever gave you for not casting you as Dulcia?
No, I think Gabriella was fantastic as Dulcia. I was probably too young. She was very mature and wise, and I think she was a perfect cast. So, yeah.
So when it came to casting for the series, how did they end up deciding that you were the actress they wanted?
Well, I went in, I auditioned, and then I had to do a martial arts routine. And then my final audition, I had to meet with the producers. It was down to about 7 of us at that point. And then I got the call. It was probably like a month later that I'd gotten the job. So I'm not sure. I've never really asked them why they chose me specifically, other than I think I was just very different from Amy Jo. She's so tiny. She's so petite. They used to have to put her on boxes when her and I were speaking. She was so much smaller than me. But she was very sweet and cute and pixie and kind of looking, and I'm tall and blonde and from another country. So I think it was good casting on their behalf because it was very different. I think if they chose someone similar to her, it would have been harder for the fans to accept it. I think our characters both brought different things to the table.
So the thing is that, with some series nowadays, if they do a quick cast change, it'll usually be that character's introduced in the same episode that they become the series regular.
Right.
Later on in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, they had Valerie Vernon was sick with leukemia, and her replacement actors came in the next episode and became the Pink Ranger in that episode.
Right.
So, did you like the fact that your character did get some build-up to actually becoming the Pink Ranger?
Yes, I loved that part. That was some of my favorite episodes, was when I was evil and I was becoming, trying to fight. I was fighting in battle inside myself of whether I was good or evil, and then when Kimberly transfers the powers, I thought that was really fun and really well done, and they needed to do that for her and for the fans because she was such a loved character. She's still, people go crazy for Kimberly. They love her. So I'm glad that they gave her and I that time,
So, with a show like Power Rangers, of course, they take the Japanese footage and then you have to do dub over the lines. How was that different from acting in front of the camera?
The ADR work is actually very hard. You have to voice match, so they show the scene on a screen, and you have to do all the stuff to match the fighting. And then sometimes I would have to voice match myself because the audio wasn't good when we recorded. So if there was wind or like we are here with a lot of sound, we would have to redub it. So you have to match. If I was saying Tommy, I had to match myself saying Tommy. So we became very good at it because we have to do it so much. But it's quite hard. And that's actually what's led me into doing voiceover later on because I did so much of it. It's become a lot easier for me over the years to do it. Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Alright, so Turbo Power Rangers movie. The movie was done with a lot of the same sets. The effects were a little bit enhanced. But was it any real different filming that movie as opposed to the TV series?
That was the thing with Turbo. They stuck more consistently with the show, so we didn't have as much of the big effects that they had in the first movie, which I think the fans actually liked that part of the movie. Just that with movies, there's a lot more time that goes involved in setting up shots and lighting and makeup and pickups and stuff because it's on a bigger scale. So there was probably a lot more waiting around. It takes a lot longer to film a movie, so whereas the series would knock like 3 episodes out in 2 weeks, the whole movie took a lot longer than that. So it's a very different experience.
So being a part of 3 different series, you had to learn the morphing sequences.
Yeah.
And I heard about this during the panel, how you're having sometimes the morphing sequence is a little complicated.
Yes.
And was there how did they teach you what the moves were going to be for the morphers?
Well, sometimes Jason came up with Turbo, just okay, we're going to turn a car and then we're going to turn the key, and he just kind of created that, and so we're like, okay, that's what we're doing. With Zio, I think the stunt coordinator figured that one out for us. So, yeah, and I mean, we did it so much that you become used to it, but connecting the morphers was challenging. I mean, there was many, hit yourself in the face, moments like that, but I think they looked really cool when we were in sync doing it together. It looked great.
It looks great in the series because everything is they designed these morphers in Japan, and then Japan does it completely differently with their poses, and so it's really neat. It's always neat watching the Japanese series and watching the American adaptation, and then seeing how they are different.
Yes.
It's taking the same fight scene footage, but you're looking at 2 different shows.
Yes, totally different. It's much more adult, the Japanese. Much more adult, and it's actually a longer show, I think, than ours.
They usually run about 49 to 52 episodes a season.
Yeah, so... And I've only seen parts of the Japanese episodes. I haven't seen a whole episode, but I know it's still going, so it's still popular.
It's still doing good.
Yeah.
Let's see. So is there anything that was particularly memorable that happened on set or while you were shooting Power Rangers that just was a fun memory you had?
Like I said in the panel, I always really was very moved by the Make-A-Wish and Starlight Foundation children visiting the set. One day I did get to go to a hospital and visit a cancer ward, and it's very painful, but it's also such a gift to be able to touch these kids' lives and make them smile and make their wishes come true. It's it feels very surreal, actually, and you feel like you're doing something on a greater scale. I really felt like I was doing God's work in those moments. So that to me is what always drew me to acting, was that I could affect people on a big scale like that. So I missed that part of it.
So, you've obviously come to a few conventions. How do you like the fandom so far? What is your general impression of the Power Rangers fans?
Well, they're incredibly committed and devoted to the show, which is amazing after 20 years that they're still so into the show. I remember the first convention I did being really shocked and surprised that people remembered me or knew the show even. I'm like, really? This is crazy. We had lines and stuff. So I think I'm just humbled and surprised by that. I find all the fans to be very sweet. They're always very gracious to us, very kind. I'm always impressed with how many military people we have that watch the show. I mean, they're the true heroes, but that they take the time to come and meet us is lovely. I don't know how much longer people are going to want to come and meet us, but we're really enjoying the ride right now.
There's always a new generation of fans with the DVD
That's
releases
true.
and the Netflix streaming.
That's true.
And it's really great. Thank you for talking with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Would you like to promote anything of yours, your Facebook page?
If I have anything coming up, I always post it on my Facebook page, which is Catherine Sutherland Official. And I love hearing from everybody, so please friend me and send me messages. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I always, if I'm doing any conventions or anything going on, I always post it on that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, stay
Bye.
tuned to Herotaku.com for more interviews from Albuquerque, California.